I think, when we look at movies like this, they set a certain standard, right?
Yeah.
And so when you go about your work, how do you sort of tackle achieving a certain standard in terms of how do you tackle being a perfectionist in that sense?
Because we spoke about it earlier that it's so difficult to achieve perfection. How do you make sure that in that pursuit of perfectionism, how do you draw a line and say, this is where I stop and I move to the next thing? Because it's an endless cycle, right? You can always make things better.
Yeah.
So how do you tackle?
You go first.
I think time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time plays a very major role. And also how old you are, I would say. But when you're young, you obviously don't care so much, but you also should know that you have to give some time. You have to set some timeline to anything that you're doing, like a deadline.
Yeah.
And that kind of would help you define how much work you need to put into it.
Yeah.
So and that's how educational things also work, right? They're it's a 2-week course. This is what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So they're also training you to finish something to show to someone in a week. So that means that it's a week's job.
Right.
How much more do you want to put into a week? And then similarly for your project is going to be more like 4 months. In client projects, they're probably going to start with saying it's 2-week thing, we need it, but then you expand it to 4 months.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, I feel that you need to put time to it. You have to start treating it like work in some ways. Obviously you have to have fun, but you need to get a bit more disciplined about it. I would say that time would obviously play a major role in defining
No,
that.
for sure. Yeah. I agree completely. And I think just generally, you try and find perfection in the limits that you have. Time, and also do you get to spend money or not? Do you get to spend resources? Do you have more people working with you? That all affects it. But overall, I'm still in a phase where I know that I'm still learning and growing a lot, and I want to learn and grow. So I tend to chase progress over perfection. Because like I said, I went through a growth cycle when I was a bit younger. I used to try and make everything good. But then a year later, I'd look at it and be like, that's rubbish. So the thing is, I don't want to spend so much time chasing something that I feel is perfect now. When I'm still mentally, I feel like I'm still growing. It's also probably because I haven't found something that I want to make completely perfect yet. I haven't found that complete passion, magnum opus, whatever project yet. Few of my friends have, and they're putting it on the back burner for when they get the time to make it perfect. It could be a short film, could be a comic series, could be a certain product. When you have that, I totally get it. My thing is, I'm still chasing progress on just improving my overall skills and doing this. So I haven't yet found that one thing to go all out on yet. But when I do, I know I'll change it again. So it's still a learning process.
And I think we talk about creativity and then we're always have to have these creative juices flowing to get stuff done and all that. But there are some times when those juices don't flow. And we all hate this word, dread the word, but burnout, burnout's a real thing. So how do you tackle something like burnout? You guys look damn fresh today.
But we've all pulled all-nighters. We've all looked like homeless people. You know, if we show up at our parents' place, they're like, what the hell happened to you? Have you not been sleeping? So how do you go around the entire
how do you tackle burnout?
Okay, fine, I'll go. So, this is this personal opinion. This isn't law. Nothing I think of what we say is law, actually. There are many ways to do things. For me, burnout relates to a lot to momentum and being a winner. Okay, what I mean is it depends on what you consider a win. For example, you get out of bed, you do your bed and you say, I did that, that's a win. That carries on and builds momentum. If I draw every day and I consider even a bad sketch a win because I sat and I drew, that's momentum. And if I keep momentum going, I don't feel burnt out because winners don't get tired. You see someone running a race, he finishes 100 meter, he came first, exhausted, holds the flag and does another lap. Boxers keep going after the last round. They keep going because you're a winner and that carries you forward. The thing is, I'll tell you guys an example of a recent project. Like I said, I can't call names, but we worked on it till the end and we put in a lot of time, a lot of sleepless nights, and that project was really good, some of the best work we've done, and then the project gets cancelled. Now, because of all that and because there was no win at the end, it led to a burnout after that. We were not burnt out until we finished it, but because there was no payoff. because there was nothing to justify that as a victory, because I couldn't look at it as a win. It became a burnout. Then I went into slump, and then I lost momentum, and then I had to come back. So for me, it is, if you keep winning at something, however small, but you personally consider it a win, you don't get burned out. It's just that if you don't see enough return, where you can't say, okay, this is going good, you start losing momentum, and then it's very hard to build momentum again once you're like, 1 day of no drawing, 2 days of no drawing becomes 4 days, becomes a week. It just, everything compounds. So for me, that's how I deal with burnout, to find something to win at. If it's not art related, I'll try cooking a new recipe, or finishing reading a book, or finishing a game or something, just to win. It helps.
I think I agree with you. I would say that I wouldn't think like that. I mean, now I would definitely, because I wouldn't say that I knew that this momentum is the actual word for it. Like, I would just say that I'll keep creating environment around me to keep going. Like, I would also consider that I think that I don't have enough time in general, like in a day. And if I lose out on maybe half an hour procrastinating, then I'm just, there's a limit to which I'll cry about it. Then I'm gonna be like, that's it. Because I'm gonna like really try to feel bad for 15 minutes if I have to, because I'm like, everyone's human, right? Feel bad about it, that's fine. But then that's it. You need to get up. Like, what is the next thing that you need to do? And I completely agree with you. I didn't really think about it like that. You know, that if you lose momentum, that's true. That is mostly why I would also feel that I'm tired. Because it just didn't reward me as much. So I would, again, like, if I'm here, I would go to the cafe. If I'm at the cafe, I'll come back here. Or like really think through like the other tertiary tasks that I have. Like, stress relieving is something else. Like, I would just meet my friends. Just like have fun. I don't know, cracking offensive jokes. But like that's just a part of it, right? But then in the business side of things, like, if I like to make money. This is like straight up, like, I get joy out of it. You know, if I sell a share, I was like, okay, cool. I probably didn't impress this client of mine, or this thing didn't go well. I'm probably gonna make a new sneaker and gonna sell like tickets out of making a workshop, or I'm probably gonna put a discount on the shirts today, and I'm gonna be like randomly like for 6 hours 50% off, and some people would just give me like, okay, cool, at least I have something to feed me. And you need to understand how you work, right? Some things would not offend you at all. Like, sometimes failure doesn't offend people, and it's great. But like sometimes it does, and then you're like, okay, now how do I get past this? So you need to create an environment around you to really.
It's very interesting because it's all about the mentality from what I gauge.
For sure.
And we would both like to thank you all. The way this works is we do get on a call with you all beforehand, and both of us gave us this piece of advice. For you, it was like, celebrate small victories.
I remember I woke up, like, I think it was literally like 2 days ago. I woke up and I'm like, I don't have the energy to go and like do more administrative work and like for the podcast and everything. And then he's like, Josh called me and he's like, you know what Derek said, bro, small victories.
Because for the first time after we got ourselves into the momentum, after celebrating, like making my bed, cleaning my desk, getting my laptop, you know, make sure we got work done before 9 p.m.
Nice.
We have never after starting this, we've never slept on time. That was the only day where we didn't have dark circles. We woke up fresh, and then we got on a call with you, and you told us that time is probably the best weapon. You need to use time. Then when I started creating like a
weird, like, proper Google calendar, like what needs to get done by what time.
We got so much work done.
It works,
Like, whatever you say about the 50-year-old uncles and aunties sitting around, it actually works.
I mean, I guess they have picked up something.
Really.
For 50 years.
Like, my mom would whack me if I slept up beyond like 9 a.m. And then I was like, every time I was like, oh my god, what do I do after you've woken up? But now it is inside me. Like, this thing that I have to have breakfast before 10 a.m. And I'm gonna have lunch at 2, and then dinner probably I'm gonna rest it out, like say like 9 to 11 window. That's okay. But like the breakfast and the lunch, the taking bath before breakfast, it's something that I just like, you need to do it. Like, I need to do it, and that makes me it gets me to be in a disciplined state, and it's important. You can't really say for everyone else, because people are going to be like, oh, I'm a creative person and I like to do it my way. I want to smell when I'm working. I don't know, whatever. But like sometimes I feel that if you start treating it like you're valuing it, basically you're valuing your work. Like literally, like some people do pujas on their whatever, like on their laptops before they start the day. It's just a way to respect your own time, your own self, and then you become serious. You're like, okay, man, like I've done illustrations. Now you sell them. You know, I'm probably gonna go out and do this, and then that's when you get that momentum also. But like this time, that's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And I think this entire idea of discipline, Derek, hands down, dude, we see your Instagram stories every day.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of work that you managed to put out, why don't you tell us a little bit?
Like even your like gym ethics.
That's what I saw a story yesterday. I'm like, the dude also heads to gym.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
So one thing is I am a workaholic. So the thing is, but that brings me joy. It's not like I'm doing it as a chore. Maybe I've tricked myself into it, because I realized one thing early on when I was at Disney. It's like, if I was sitting there doing work till 10 p.m., it was like a chore. But then after that, there's like a party at 11. I'm all hyped. So if you can switch the mentality and be like, and another thing is like, one thing that it may be cliche to say, but everyone says life is hard. But when you're in those periods and then you realize, oh, this is what hard feels like, it really trivializes it. And you're like, oh, I just need to do this, and that is hard.
That's it.
So then you're like, oh, I'm dealing with hard. Like this is what hard is, you know, and we're like, oh, it's not that bad, you know, like so. But generally my day is very time, like you said, is very valuable. And the thing is, I have a daily checklist which I need to do before I sleep. But I started from the morning, like whether it is journaling or spending time reading or making a personal artwork, all of that. I have a checklist like on my Google Keep, and also sheets, or two different checklists which I need to mark. So that keeps me in track. Like I don't have a period of time where I don't know what to do. So even if I'm on chilling, I have a lot of things to do to chill. You know, I don't have a period of time where I'm wondering what to do, because I don't like that dull in momentum, right? And I want to keep doing things. Like, and it's not taxing at all. It's fun. Like making money is fun, for example. It's really fun. Like there's a lot of hard work. You have to do it, but once you see the returns, it's fun. So that's also there.
And we've talked about the good bits. Why don't we get our hands a little dirty?